The final episode of Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Core 1 was absolutely phenomenal. Ichigo confronts Zangetsu within himself and unlocks its true power, subsequently evaporating an entire sea afterwards. Such an impressive feat, but all I could think of doing it was Natsu did it first. Like literally in the final season of Fairytail, Natsu literally did this just by activating his magic power. People said this was petty of me, but I don't really care. So I then decided, after thinking about it for a while, why not just do an entire Ichigo versus Natsu video to shut the Bleach fans up once in a while and to celebrate the true meaning of the season. People beating the absolute shit out of each other. Ichigo Kurosaki, the substitute soul reacher from Bleach. And we have Natsu Dragneel, the fire demon dragon slayer from Fairytail. Both famous mainly for being able to wreck Naruto shit. Like seriously, this isn't even a debate. Naruto fans accept it, they rock Naruto's destiny. This fight is gonna go the same as my Natsu vs Yamamoto. So, let's start with Ichigo. Ichigo was able to, in the Battle of Ginjo, show that each of his single sword swings while in his current new Shikai is as strong as his previous Getsuga Tensho. And his current Getsuga Tensho was able to split the clouds in a single hit. This is like some Lubu from Record of Ragnarok shit, and it is mad impressive. Especially when later on in that fight, Ichigo showed that with just by activating his Bankai, he was able to destroy an entire pocket dimension. Like, this scene is one of the most hyper moments of Bleach till this day. Like, this is literally an oh my god, what the hell am I watching? How is he this strong moment? So while this was a very impressive feat, yeah, Bleach fans, I'm sorry to say, Natsu's done this, and technically, I'm pretty sure he did it first. Like, first of all, please remember the battle against Hades on Tenno Island when Natsu used his Lightning Flame Dragon mode. Natsu, in a single attack, was able to split the entire island of Tenojima in two. I'm not kidding, look at this. In a single blast, this man split an island in two. Here's the full view if you still don't believe me. And later on, even earlier on, Natsu against his battle with Zero, the guild master of... what the hell was it again? It's not Grimoire. Orashion says Zero banished Natsu to the Neon Genesis, a dimension filled with all the souls he had ever killed. And Natsu burnt his way out of it. Like, he literally set the entire pocket dimension on fire. Like, look at this shit. Like, bro literally set souls on fire. Like, look at how many floors Natsu slams this guy forward to after burning a pocket dimension. Then another time, Natsu in his base was high from eating mushrooms he found in the mountains. Like, literally, look at this nigga. Man is high out of his mind. Man is probably seeing the sky as purple or some shit. So that should give you an idea. Like, he was so high, he literally mistook 4 people for 40 people. That's how high he was. And while high out of his mind, Natsu then proceeds to, in a single attack, blow the entire mountain range into oblivion to the point it could be seen from sea. And Ginjo literally confirmed that pocket dimension was only the size of Kakarot Town, meaning that's only city level. Now let's move on to Ichigo's battle with Grimjo. Ichigo managed to tank 5 of Grimjo's spikes to the bank. And Grimjo showed that just one of his spikes is able to damage one of these giant massive pillars, as you soon see here. Like, don't get me wrong, this is a very impressive durability feat, man, impressive. However, we have Natsu fighting the Wood God Dragon Aldoron's thickest of arms attack that was able to cause massive damage to the surroundings, as you can see here. Yeah, Natsu was literally completely impaled by these things and still withstood it and even burnt them. Next, we have Ichigo versus Aizen in how their sword clashes were able to destroy large rock formations just with the force of their sword. Even Aizen started feeling himself for this because this is a very impressive feat. So I was like, God damn, the first time I watched it. And they then proceed to do it again and again with literally each clash of their swords that they are destroying and reforming the entire landscape, which is mad impressive. Eventually, even Ichigo was able to catch Aizen's sword with his bare hands. And then later on, Aizen literally does the Hado Bar 96 black coffin on Ichigo. Hado 90 Kurotsuchi, aka the black hole on Ichigo. Aizen, feeling himself, thinks this is the end and he is beating Ichigo. Only for Ichigo to break out of it with his bare hands, with the force from his hand. Like, what the fuck? He then even confirms that plate 2 that was blown away was not Aizen, that was his sword. So don't get me wrong. However, please remember, this was Dangai Ichigo that discarded all his Reiatsu in exchange for physical strength. So this is technically one of, if not one of Ichigo's strongest transformations to date. So don't think he was doing it with just his regular physical strength. Now let's move to Natsu. Natsu fought the Water God Dragon Mechphobia, who's literally confirmed to be around the same age as Acnologia, as you can read here. Though yes, during their battle, Mechphobia was only at 50%. But please remember, in the final season of Fairytail, Elsa literally confirmed that his power was far greater than what he used at Tenno. And Tenno Acnologia blew the island to pieces in a single attack. So it's safe to say Mechphobia should reach around that level. And Natsu, in a single attack, completely overpowers Mechphobia's roar and blasts him in the face. And then he then proceeds to go into the sky, grab Mechphobia and slam him into the ground. This is the same dragon that's equal to dragons that are able to destroy large structures just by flying through them. They're even able to destroy more of them just by passing by. Like, seriously, every circle you see here is one of those faces, those large structures. Aizen's Hado number 96 is confirmed to be an actual black hole, like it manipulates gravity like a black hole. There we have Natsu fighting Blue Note that literally summons a mini black hole. Here's the description if you don't believe me. Then what does my boy Natsu do? Natsu then proceeds to not only blast the black hole, but literally the entire surrounding in his base form. He one-shots a dude that was able to make a mini black hole. We have Ichigo tanking Aizen's skull blast from whatever that was able to destroy large amounts of land. But yeah, we also have Natsu being able to tank the power of animals, as you can see here in his base. Like, literally, not only that, he's able to tank this large roar that was able to do this much damage. Some people may say that Natsu, the only reason he was able to tank that attack was because he shortly transformed into a half dragon later. So maybe he transformed midway as he was taking the blast. So fine, let's even push this feat aside. Here we have Natsu tanking a large blast from August. Like, literally, look at the size of this attack. See how large it is? You see how big it is? Yeah, Natsu tanked this shit. Then let's move over to Ichigo's Mugetsu feat. When Ichigo finally unleashed the final Getsuga Tensho Mugetsu on Aizen, it caused a large amount of damage that was seen for miles. Wait for it, go ahead of myself there. Wait for it. Okay, there we go. The Mugetsu caused a large amount of damage that went on for miles after miles. To spare me some time, I'm just gonna play you this section from my Natsu vs Yamamoto video. Natsu fought the god of war Ikutunagi, literally taller than mountains, and had the ability to tear the ground till it reached the freaking sea. I'm not joking, look at this. And do you know what Natsu then proceeds to do? He then proceeds to one-shot this guy that is bigger than mountains and has its power to tear the ground asunder in a single attack with just one Fire Dragon King fist. This thing right here is the Dragon Cry. It contains the power of all the dragons Arachnologia has ever killed in the Dragon King Festival. And it was literally stated to have enough power to destroy the entire continent of Ichigo. And if you want to know, Ichigo is 13 million square miles. That is almost the size of the entire continent of America. So both Americas actually. Now, Animus, this dragon right here, absorbs the power of said Dragon Cry and uses it to attack the entire continent, as we can see here. And what does my boy Natsu do? Natsu, right after being turned into a fucking shish kebab, he then decides to turn into a half dragon and absolutely wreck the guy's shit. I'm not even kidding. Look at this ass whooping. So Animus, knowing he was about to get his shit rocked, puts all the power of the Dragon Cry back into his body. And what does Natsu do? He not only overpowers Animus, he drills into his fucking skull. We have Ichigo's true Shikai. As we know, Ichigo's true Shikai is confirmed to be equal to his Dangai form. As you watch confirms this not only once but twice. Even Ichigo himself confirmed this, stating that his true Shikai is the fusion of his Hollow and Quincy Zangetsu, much like how during the battle against Aizen, both Zangetsu fused for Ichigo to absorb and use their power. Now let's move over to Natsu. Natsu fought Zeref, who was literally able to draw with Natsu while he was using Igneous power. As you can see here, they are perfectly equal with each other. Natsu is using the power of the Fire Dragon King Igneo. He later loses this power and is still able to match it, as shown as he was able to burn Zeref's Anxeran Blast just by activating his Dragon Force. This practically confirms that Natsu's Dragon Force should be equal to Igneous power. As you can literally see here, with Zeref still confident he'll be able to put up more than a fight against Natsu. The same Igneo that Natsu was using and can match was able to cause this much amount of damage with a single attack. Now let's move to Horn of Salvation Ichigo. Horn of Salvation Ichigo basically acts like the same power up Ichigo had to his Bankai when he was fighting Ulquiorra and getting clapped by Ulquiorra's first release. Like literally, damn, that ass whooping is tremendous. Not to talk of his second release that clapped his ass even harder. Like god damn, man grabbed him by the head and threw him away. Ulquiorra's second release with a single blast was able to cause a large amount of destruction, as we can see here. Wait for it. Okay, here we go. In a single blast, it caused this much amount of destruction. And Hollow of Vastolode Ichigo was able to catch said blast with his bare hand and then proceed to rip Ulquiorra another one and then blast the nigga to freaking smithereens. Like god damn, Vastolode Ichigo was cool. Horn of Salvation acts like the same power up to Ichigo's Bankai that he had during his battle against Ulquiorra. But yes, I confirmed in my Natsu Ignea Dragon Force video, Natsu is able to fuse his Demon Power END and his Dragon Force on top of each other, creating a new transformation which I call his Demon Dragon Force. Next, we have Ichigo's true Bankai, which stacks a Bankai which is on top of his horn observation form that was able to literally slash in two. But as I confirmed in my debunking Bleach video, your watch should be around galaxy level after observing the Soul King. For argument's sake, let's just say your watch after observing the Soul King is universal. As I explained in my Natsu vs. Zerf explanation video and my Fairytail Zerf and Time Moves explanation video, which I'm just gonna play here. And keep in mind, this is Anxeram's cause that had been boosted by the Fairy Heart, but he was even able to burn time itself. And before anyone tells me he didn't burn time, yes he did. This is the space between time or time moves. It's literally defined as a conceptual power source. This is a time move right here. Literally defined as a conceptual power source. This is Anahat failure. The only other person who has studied it as much as Zerf. This is hard, literally confirming it is a concept, not a power source like magic. It was literally created from the distortions in time from the 5 dragon slayers crossing over 400 years. Time itself trying to fix itself, creating that hole. Zeref confirmed that the new eclipse is a time reset which erases time and creates a new time in the user's image. And literally, it requires the fairy heart and the space between time. And it even gets better. We literally see Zeref linking the time wave to the guild's door. And we see from their final clash, the guild's door, the lights that shined when the time rift was activated appears at the same time, meaning Zeref was linked to it and Natsu burnt time. So knowing this, y'all should go anyway. This is what empowered Natsu. As I said, lit his own spirit on fire too. By doing so, he brought his flames to life. Then a lot of Bleach fans seem to believe that Ichigo will just simply speed Bleach Natsu. While I will not deny Ichigo is fast, and by travel speed he should be faster than Natsu. That doesn't make Natsu slow by any means. He was literally able to react to Ichigo, and he watch himself literally states he can only use the Almighty on what he can see, meaning Ichigo is still seeable. Natsu was able to block attack from Sting, the white dragon slayer whose attacks are stated to be light speed. You can see him dodging lasers here and even react and overpower him. Yoruichi, who is arguably the fastest Bleach character, is literally known as the God of Thunder, meaning Ichigo should scale somewhere around there. And Natsu literally has his own lightning flame dragon transformation, not to talk of much stronger transformations like his Ignia or demon dragon force. In conclusion, we can get Ichigo to universal level scaling if you really want to wank him, but we can get Natsu to timeline level as well. So who has literally been confirmed to be able to increase his strength using just his emotions. They have around the same level of durability. I just don't see Ichigo beating Natsu in a serious fight to the death. Anyway guys, like and subscribe and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.